We have arrived at the famous Autodromo Nazionale di Monza just on the outskirts of Milan for the running of the Italian Grand Prix, the final European race of the season. Coming into this week, 4 drivers have been dominating all the headlines this week. The first team news of the day is a huge one, as it has been announced that 2009 World Champion Miklos Gal will be leaving Red Bull after 9 seasons with the team and will be going back to their sister team ALFA in the shock move. Miklos is having another good season despite not having the best start to the season. He currently lies 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, 39 points behind INDYCAR, and his current team Red Bull lies 2nd in the Constructors, nearly 200 points behind Mercedes. Miklos' move back to Red Bull's sister team may be seen by people as a bizarre move. However, as we alluded to in the pilot episode, Miklos aims to help turn ALFA around and hopes to make them as competitive and maybe better than Red Bull in terms of pace, like in 2008 when the team was known as Toro Rosso, which ironically was the last time Miklos drove for the team. Miklos will be looking to have a great end to the season and hopes to have a brilliant 2021 with ALFA. As a result of this news, it means that at least one current ALFA driver will be leaving the team at the end of the season, with both David Kupak and Chris Chatfield looking more likely to duke it out in the remaining 8 races in order to get retained. Both of them have backup choices should they miss out, with David having Alfa Romeo as a backup and Chris having Ferrari as a backup. However, both of these teams have stiff competition, so it could be a win or bust situation for both of them, but we will have to wait and see. In terms of who will replace Miklos Gal at Red Bull, that has also been confirmed, as it has been announced that 5-time race winner George ROKE will be making a welcome return to the team in 2021. George has had an amazing 2020 with him having the season of his life. He currently lies 4th in the Drivers' Championship, 12 points ahead of Franco Gamba, and his current team Racing Point lies 3rd in the Constructors, 53 points ahead of Renault. George's highest moment this season obviously came at Hockenheim, where after 8 seasons away from the top step, he finally managed to grab his 5th career win, leading home a Racing Point 1-2. George, as we mentioned earlier, will be returning to Red Bull for the first time since 2006, and it also happened to be the team that he got his first ever pole position. He'll be over the moon to know that he'll be returning to the Milton Keynes-based team, and he'll be hoping the team is competitive enough to be fighting for the title in 2021. In terms of who his teammate will be for 2021, it looks likely that Franco Gamba will get retained, which would reunite the pair of them for the first time since 2018 when they were at Haas. However, due to his up and down season in 2020, there is a chance that Franco could get dropped, with current DTM Championship contender Daniel Adventure should he miss out on Aston Martin, and current Manor driver Rosetta Martinez should he miss out on Lamborghini, being shocking candidates to potentially replace Franco. In terms of who could replace George ROKE at the rebranded Aston Martin, that looks to be a straight fight between current GP2 Championship leader Aaron Curtis and current DTM Championship contenders Julius Anderson and Daniel Adventure. It will be interesting to see where this one ends up developing for both teams. The third team news of the day concerns Haas, as they have announced that current Manor driver and 2019 Formula E champion Amelia Wilson will be joining the team in 2021. Amelia has had an amazing rookie season despite this year's Manor not being competitive in their final season. She currently lies 18th in the Drivers' Championship, 4 points ahead of Jamie Griffiths, and her current team Manor lies 10th in the Constructors, with her new employers Haas being the only team yet to score this season. Amelia's highest point this season came just last week when she scored her first ever points in the top class, finishing 7th, ensuring that Manor scored points in their final season. Amelia will be happy to know that she will have a drive in 2021, especially with an American team, and she'll be looking to turn the team around and steer them in the right direction. She will replace Dudu Kirby, who will be retiring from the OC as a whole at the end of the season. In terms of who her teammate will be, Daniel Fraser still has a chance of being retained. However, given his rocky rookie season, he could be dropped, with the likes of GP2 Championship contender Luca Farina and former Haas drivers Jared Fosbury and Bartosz Kloss being contenders for that second seat. It will be interesting to see whether Haas retain Daniel or drop him for 2021. The fourth and final team news of the day concerns Alfa Romeo, as they have announced that Italian ANDREA FEDERI will remain with the team for another season. Andrea has had an outstanding season despite this year's Sauber dropping back compared to last season. He currently lies 11th in the Drivers' Championship, having overtaken 3 drivers in the standings last week, and his team Alfa Romeo lie 8th in the Constructors, 6 points behind AlphaTauri. In the last couple of races, Andrea has had some brilliant points finishes, with him finishing 7th in Hungary and finishing 6th in Belgium. Andrea will be happy to be retained by the team for another season, and he'll be looking to help improve the team in the first season of the fantasy era. His teammate is still a huge question mark, given the number of contenders fighting for that seat. Gabriel Gomez could still get retained by the team for another season, however he could get dropped, with the likes of current GP2 Championship contenders Aaron Curtis, Rahul Patel, Hoang Min Nguyen, Ruslan Proksiuk and Jesus Perinen, current AlphaTauri driver David Kupop, and current DTM Championship leader Roman Quark being some of the long list of contenders who could nab the seat away from Gabriel. It will be interesting to see which way this ends up for 2021. The final bit of news today concerns the big announcement that happened this past Sunday, as it was announced by Yuri that GP4OC would have a massive tier revamp from 2021. This revamp will include the tiering system for each series being scrapped, with GP2 still continuing to act as a feeder series to the top class. However, DTM, Formula E and soon to be INDYCAR, which was confirmed to be replacing BTCC from 2021, will be acting as alternate series for drivers to create a different path in their OC career. Rookies will still be eligible to compete in these series along with GP2, however they will spread across all 4 of these series. GP2 will still be only eligible for drivers who have never competed in the top class, however the new INDYCAR series, which will still be open to rookies, will mainly consist of experienced drivers should there be enough experienced drivers signing up. The Indy 500 will not be a part of this championship and it will instead act as a separate entity. On top of this, Formula E will no longer be an equal car series in 2021 as a result of the tiering system being scrapped. However, it will not be in the same way as the top class. It will act in a similar way to how it is in real life, so there should still be close racing. Speaking of the top class, the injury system will be returning from 2021, however not in the same way as it was in the past. It will act in a realistic and fairer way to ensure no one abuses the system. On top of this, the top class will also introduce an end of season test for the first time in its series' history, with the test mainly for test drivers and any new drivers a team has signed up for the following season. It's a very exciting time for the OC, and along with the fantasy era, it should make things very, very interesting. And that is it for this week's edition of the GP4OC News. The next team news will break at the Korean Grand Prix next week, who will be announced during to practice next Tuesday at Yeongnam.